So yesterday, I was actually at a panel in the morning, and at the end of the panel, there was Q&A. Last question went to a lady who raised her hand and just made a bunch of comments. She wasn't really asking a question, so at the end of her comments, because there was no question, there was a very uncomfortable silence in the room among the panelists, including myself. We just kind of looked at each other and looked at our shoes. So at that moment, she basically said, the reason I want to chime in is because my last name is AI. Yeah, so at that moment, I responded, I have AI in my name too. Our parents are visionary people. So, but okay, joke aside, what a rich set of dialogues this morning. I really hope that all of you have found the same value as I have in these exchanges. I think one thing we all agree is that data indeed can drive very meaningful change and address pressing social issues. However, to harness its potential for good, we must adopt a responsible and inclusive approach. So I'm going to just summarize what I've heard. I've heard the following things. I think there's a theme around responsible data use. So responsible data use begins with ethics. We must prioritize the protection of privacy, confidentiality, and individual rights. And we must ensure transparency and informed consent from individuals. I think there's technologies like anonymization that can be used. Those techniques, together with strict data access controls and data sharing agreements, can strike a balance between information sharing and protecting individual privacy rights. I also heard fairness and mitigating bias. So to ensure fair representation and avoid bias, it is very crucial we collect data from a very diverse sources and populations. Now, you train AI models on biased data, you know what's going to come out of the other end, right? So inclusive data practices help us avoid reinforcing existing inequalities and biases and enable us to understand the needs and experiences of marginalized communities. I also heard collaboration and partnerships. Addressing complex social challenges does require us to collaborate among all the players in the ecosystem. That includes governments, nonprofits, academia, and the private sector. I think only by working together, we can leverage the collective expertise we all bring to the table and the resources we have and the data we have to develop comprehensive solutions that have a more significant and sustainable impact. I also heard empowering communities. That's actually a very important point. I think the responsible data use really should empower individuals and the communities, giving them the agency over their data. And engaging with communities and involving them in the decision-making process can foster trust, facilitate collaboration, and ensure the data initiatives aligned with their needs and aspirations. So, last comment, I do believe we can harness the power of data to drive very positive social impact and changes in a way that respects individual rights, promotes social justice, and creates a more inclusive and equitable world for all of us. Data can be used for good, and data must be used for good. Thank you all.